Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use a promo code JUICE and $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets. Either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pros. Restrictions apply. And beware of using it on Thursday nights, maybe even Monday nights. I feel like primetime games kind of been a dud. Speaking of primetime games, how about my Philadelphia Eagles getting it done? Apologies to the people who have had the Cowboys. No, not sorry at all. You get what you deserved. I know you're thinking, oh, he just hits his 59-yard field goal. They covered the 6.5. Not the way this Eagles team's playing. Mojo, let's go. I don't want to say where we're going, but it could be possibly all the way. I don't want to jinx it, but birds are looking good. Picks middling, 2-2. Could have been better, could have been worse. Get to that. Then obviously Monday Night Football got a bunch of picks there, some player props, side, even a little total action. We got it all. All right, so 2-2. 49ers never had a chance against the Falcons. They just never had a chance. They really got pushed around. I mean, anytime, as soon as Atlanta had that fumble return for a touchdown, I knew I was in trouble. Also, though, watching that game, 49ers, you're down 2 scores. Do they not have a hurry-up offense? They were huddling, with 6 minutes left. What are we doing, guys? I guess I was going to say overreacted, but I didn't react enough. I ignored the fact at how bad the 49ers defense was banged up. I thought situationally it was a good spot for them, and man, the Falcons just keep going. 6-0 ATS, got that outright win, so hats off to them. Dolphins money line. This one was frustrating because, one, Skylar Thompson got knocked out, and he was the Dolphins quarterback, their third stringer, who I thought was looking okay. He gets knocked out, but then they bring in Teddy Bridgewater, who is better than Skylar Thompson, but he wasn't fully 100%. But since Skylar Thompson got hurt, they brought in the Butler, a.k.a. Teddy Bridgewater. Call him Butler because he wears 2 white gloves. He's doing Butler-like things. Possibly go ahead drive. They're down 16-10. 4th and 5, great completion. Another great completion for a first down. Getting deep into Vikings territory. Jalen Waddle, and then he just coughs the ball up. It was a non-contact fumble. The things that drive me crazy in NFL betting, the number one, I think, or at least certainly has to be up there, is receiver fumbles because they're so hard to predict. I mean, Waddle maybe fumble once, maybe twice in a season, and they're complete game changers. Just brutal. So tough to lose that one. I thought it was a great situation spot. And I have been watching teams going into the bye. I went against it here with the Dolphins pick, but teams going into the bye, it's 7-1, I think, straight up in ATS. I'll have to do some digging on that for next week. But teams going into the bye have been looking really good. It's at least 7-1 straight up. I'll double check the ATS, but something to keep an eye on. And normally the logic was teams coming off the bye. That's good because they have the extra rest and time to recover. But it really has. Past couple of years where they've adjusted the NFLPA, how much time you can practice, teams coming off the bye actually haven't looked that good. All right, let's get to the winners. Bengals -2.5. They got it done 30-26. I don't know how, really. I mean, watching that game, they just keep letting Joe Burrow get lit up. He took one really bad shot. Offensive line continues to be an issue, but then he just chucks it up to Jamar Chase and just beasts and has an awesome touchdown. They really remind me of that team last year. Supposedly they were going to fix their offensive line, haven't really done that, and it's just kind of the same type of thing. But nice win, nice cover. I don't know what to make of the Saints team. It was. Considering how many guys they had out, I think I'm fortunate to get that cover, get that win. So I'll take it, though. Cincinnati -2.5. And then last but not least, Patriots +2.5. I mean, this one was pretty easy. I thought Pats were just going to run the ball down their throat. Belichick was going to get up for this game. Bailey Zappi. Look out, Mac Jones. Bailey Zappi in the house. Western Kentucky's own. They just play a complete game. And again, Brownie the Elf. You're not going to win games with that giant elf on your field, the Cleveland Browns. I've tried to explain it to you. It's a giant cartoon elf. You've really just spit in the face of everything, all the football gods, karma, everything. it's just going to be bad times, Browns fan. And I feel for Browns fans because Cleveland is a great sports city. So apologies, Browns fans, but it's going to be tough times. You got to get rid of Brownie the Elf. Maybe replace it with Brandon Ayuk, or at least a Brandon Ayuk autographed jersey. Just go to youtube.com/bettingpros, click subscribe. If you haven't already, what are you doing? Comment on this very video, and you got a chance to win a Brandon Ayuk autographed jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. And that thing is fresh, as the kids say. That is not mid. That is primo jersey right there. All right. Get to it. Get some player props going. First up, KJ Hamler under 24.5 receiving yards over on DK. He only has 4 targets this season. He has 2 catches. One of the catches was for 55 yards. That was a couple games ago. I imagine that injury has to be limiting Russell Wilson. And again, they're also getting Greg Dulcich back. So I think he's going to eat up some targets. Again, KJ Hamler only has 4 targets. It's going back and forth between playing his under receptions at 1.5 or under 24.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go under on the receiving yards. This offense is just completely out of sync, and I think it's going to be a struggle for him to hit any sort of deep stuff. I think they could have some. If the Broncos are going to be able to move the ball, it's going to be on the ground, I think. So, yeah, give me KJ Hamler under 24.5 receiving yards. Russell Wilson over 0.5 interceptions. Again, the offense is out of sync. They don't seem like they know what they're doing. A lot of confusion there. Russ is forcing the ball up when he doesn't have to force it. He just seems completely just out of it. Coming off a 2-interception game. And, they lost Garrett Bowles for the season. That's not going to help. So give me Russell Wilson over 0.5 interception at -140. Next up, we got moving over to the game itself. I'm going to take Chargers in the first half, -3 over on win. Broncos have been bad in general, but also bad. Even I was going to say badder. It's been a long night. Go Birds. They've been even worse in the first half. Only first half they won was at home. I just don't see it was. And the only first half they won it was at home against the Colts. Now they're on the road. Chargers average 15.6 points per first half. Broncos are all the way down to 8.8 points per first half. I just think the Chargers are going to get off to a hot start, so give me the Chargers -3 for the first half. Again, like the Broncos offense, I'm just fading it. And another way to fade it, take the under for the game. Give me the under 45.5. Get that over on BetMGM. Broncos have only scored 75 points in 5 games. We're talking about 15 points per game. And in general, these primetime games, the under has been great for those. Broncos, you look at some of the advanced stuff, points per play, 31st in the league. Under has hit for them 4 out of the last 5 games. Really, what I love about what I love about the under here is how bad the Broncos have been in the red zone. Someone who was on the Broncos on Thursday, the Thursday before, they're just horrible. 21% of their red zone possessions have turned into touchdowns. 21%. You know how bad that is? And on the other side, the Broncos have a pretty good defense. Like, they're really wasting it with this crappy offense and Russell Wilson. Only allowing 289 yards per game, only 16 points per game. So they're scoring 15 points per game. They're allowing 16 points per game. To me, that is a pretty good combination for the under. As far as the game itself, I'm going to put 2 units on the Chargers, -4.5. Let's go. Chargers have actually been pretty good ATS in their own division. 8-3 ATS in their last 11 games in the division. Like I mentioned, the Broncos' red zone woes. I think that's really going to come into play here. Broncos still without their left tackle, Garrett Bowles. I think, the Chargers' defense isn't amazing, but I think they have some decent matchups against this Broncos team. I think they're going to be able to create some turnovers. Last but not least, I don't think the Broncos can get to 17 points, which I think will really make it tough to cover. I got this game going 24-17. Chargers, I think it's going to be a nice win for the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to have some ability to throw the ball. I think it could be a big I didn't really find any specific props I liked for Gerald Everett, but I think he could have a big game because I do like Surtain for the Broncos matching up against Mike Williams. But I think there's going to be other opportunities in the passing games, maybe even Austin Eckler receiving. So keep an eye out for that. I think they'll be able to move the ball, get enough. And again, I just want to keep any way I can fade this Broncos offense, I'm going to fade them. So give me the Chargers -4.5. 2 units. Give me the under 45.5. For the game there, 1 unit. Chargers first half -3 for a unit. Russell Wilson to throw a pick over a half there at -140. KJ Hamler under 24.5 receiving yards. Hey guys, follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, the Sports Gambling Podcast. And as always, brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE, where a $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets if either team scores a touchdown. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.